Hello. We're going to do a shorter version of our foot exploration. So you have choices of longer, which can be really wonderful way to sink in a little bit deeper, or the shorter practice. There's a tendency to always want to go shorter, so check yourself and see if you have time. But here we go. So I'm going to take you down to my feet. I'm going to take, after presencing yourself and feeling, now take your hand and your foot together, make that connection from heart down through the legs, down through the arms, into the wrist and into the hand, feeling that transference of energy from the palm of the foot to the palm of the hand, the sole of the foot. And then a gentle appreciation for the contour, the shape, the softness, the textures of the feet, memorizing your feet as if you are going to then sculpt your feet. Hmm. And then we're going to do our helicoptering toes. So you should know this by now from the longer video. It's going to do some helicoptering between the toes. Feeling the webbing, feeling the sensation of what it feels like to open the connective tissue and the fascia. And then between the third and fourth toe, getting some sort of adjustments in my toes. Feels so good. Down to the pinky toe. Doing about 5 to 10 of these. And then I'm going to go to bubbling spring, that point in between kidney 1. And I'm just going to work that, open it up, remind it of its capacity to sense and feel, soften so it's not so rigid. The foot can get really rigid. And just notice how all that movement in the foot, this part of our foot that's like so creative out in the world. If we step on a rock, it's the part that's really sort of molds around. It can be moldable and resilient, not a stiff board. And then from here, we're going to do the seesawing toes. So hand on top, pinky on top, or not pinky, whatever, this pointer finger and thumb. And we're going to take the other hand. We're just going to gently move. And remember, I'm applying a little bit of pressure of my thumb upwards and my pointer downwards, depending upon the movement, to help just gently encourage the movement. And we're going to make our way down all the toes, all 5 toes. Pinky will love this. Secondary to always sometimes ending up in on the side of the cabinet or the other side of the sofa, whatever way you jam your toes. My pinky is always the one that is almost broken based on my foot going one way and the pinky going the other way. So a pinky really loves this opportunity. And then going back in and just I use the tip of my thumb. You can use the ball, it's a softer, or the tip of the thumb to just sort of get into and around the bottom of the foot, around the ball of the foot, where all of those joints are. And then we're going to take our hands, pinky, we're going to weave our pinky finger and every finger in between each toe, finding that little bit of space in between each toe. And you can hang out here for a long time if you want, but for this video purposes, we're just going to spend a little bit of time here. And you'll notice when your opposite arm and foot are together, you can really work with bending sort of the toes upward, and it opens the whole sort of bottom arch of the foot. And then we'll do the reverse in just a moment. And I actually stay here sometimes for 5 or 10 minutes if I'm somewhere, I'm watching television, or I happen to be outside admiring something beautiful in the yard. This is just a practice that I love to do. Just the feet love this reminder, and it it allows the feet to connect into earth in a different way and works its way up your body very differently. Into your body, into the legs. And then I will release my fingers. And then weave my top, same arm, same hand as the foot. And this gets a different perspective because it helps me really curl the top part of the foot. So I can't exactly see, but it's opening up this whole top channel of the foot. And for a lot of people, this part of the foot gets really, those toes are pulled up. So this opens that up. So do it gently, because if you have a lot of tightness in the fascia, connective tissue all around the tendons of the muscles of the feet, this can be too much. And we don't want that by any means, but we do want to remind the foot and remind the tendons of this opening of the top of the foot. And at the same time, I'm using the palm of my hand back here just to gently work around the heel. The heel does so much, especially right through the center of the heel. This is where the majority of our weight goes through against gravity. Um, sort of the center point of our gravity, kind of in between these two areas. But you can see if the heel didn't have so much work to do, it wouldn't be so calloused and so fat patty. So the heel just also loves this. And I might do little circles. And you can see the circling of my hand also circles this part of the foot, that creative, exploratory part of the feet. And I might circle around in the opposite direction. It's kind of interesting to think, like, how do we do that? Let's see. In this direction, we'll go the opposite direction. And then I'm going to release that, wiggle my toes and feel the freedom, and then place that foot back down on earth and feel the difference. Feels pretty good. Feels really good. And then do your other side. We could do it together. How about that? We'll go back and we'll do the other side now. So, other side of the foot. Again, dirty foot because I run around outside. Maybe I should have manicured my feet. But it allows you to see, the real surface area, my toes and my calluses. So take a moment, take your opposite arm and foot and run that energy from your heart, that gratitude, that appreciation, that love for this beautiful body and for our feet and our feet's capacity to really connect us into Mother Earth and allow us to ambulate around. And then from here, we'll do the helicoptering toes. So helicopter. And while you're doing this, see if you can keep your other foot relaxed, open, and spread. And that we just did that work. So become aware if you're even gripping with the other side. You can go slower if you want. Feeling that space in between the toes. Maybe there's some toes that feel like they need more space than others, or are tighter than others. For me, these two toes are the most interesting sensation-wise. And then between 3 and 4, this is, on this foot, this is another surprise. It's surprising. Breathing, feel your connection to your sit bones, even though you're so curious about your feet. And then the 4th and 5th toe. My pinky toe on the right side of the foot has had many a break. Toe going one way, rest of the foot going the other way. Yowza. So I feel this a little bit more on this side. And then let's go down to kidney 1. Just massage, wake up, soften this part of the foot. I apologize for my dirty feet, but it's barefoot. I figured you guys would be okay with that because I am running around in the earth, and it's very good for um, showing the different parts of the feet. Remember, kidney 1 is right here, that big sort of ball of the toe, and the other toes here, right there. And then we'll do the seesawing toe. So top finger here, it presses down as I bring the toe up, just as a gentle reminder. I'm not forcing it. And then the thumb, as my toe goes down, lifts up. So we're going back and forth. It's very gentle. Mostly it's just sensing and feeling what goes on with the toes. And this is very important in walking. This to be able to have nice flexible movement in here that can power up our gait. We'll move to the second toe, the third toe. Remember, this is the quicker version of this practice. And the fourth toe, and the fifth toe. Baby toe, little piggy. And we'll weave. We're going to do the top hand first, or same arm and foot together, weaving the fingers in between the toes. Again, don't force if it doesn't feel good. You kind of have to add a little oomph because my toes and your toes may not feel that wide. So there's a little bit of not force, but encouragement, healthy encouragement. And I'm going to work my toes, bending them down, using my thumb at either bubbling spring, kidney 1, or you can work all of the pad of the foot. And I just, my hand just automatically wants to go elsewhere. So I'm going to work the whole line of the sole of the foot where all those tendons come down and attach. And then release, wiggle your toes, feel the freedom. Make sure the other foot is also still feeling free and open, and take your opposite arm as your foot and weave that together in between. And remember, you can stay here a long time or a little, depending upon your time frame. And here I'm going to do some gentle circles, flexing and rounding, flexing and rounding, or extending. There's so many different ways to talk about it, but just taking your toes in a opposite directions. Discovering your feet as if for the very first time, every time you do it. And then releasing your toes and reestablishing your sense of ground. Look at your feet and notice the difference in the coloration. Feel the freedom of the toes. This should be called the freedom foot practice because honestly, my feet are like, wowza. Everything's free. Now I really just want to float my way through the yard. So we'll do some gait activities soon, but take your new feet and go for a little stroll, do a little walkabout, and feel what it feels like in your feet, right to left, as you walk, and connect to the earth. If you can do this outside, it's a beautiful practice at any time, whether you're on the concrete or the grass or dirt, or I'm thinking about going to put my little toesies in the water now after this, just to feel different sensations, water around the feet, grass, dirt, jello, whatever you like. All righty, enjoy.